Good evening, Gooners. Welcome to Can Afford TV, the big Sunday show. I'm joined by Richard and Stranger, Des the Enforcer. He's back.
Uh,
How's
Cheers,
it going?
mate. That's the best intro I've ever had. Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. It has been
Yeah,
lately, but can't complain. Still here, still talking about it, so it's all good, mate.
yeah, no, definitely. No, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Yeah, Richard, again,
Yeah, well, a mainstay, of course, but yeah, good. Warmer than it was last night.
yeah, a little bit, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, no. Another week passes and a boring week. In all honesty, I think we know now. Obviously, the World Cup is upon us, and yeah, it just feels just very weird. Just waking up and having trying to get World Cup fever in your heads coming into winter, and you're suddenly thinking, just this doesn't feel right. And yeah, this this game today, the opening game. Don't know. I couldn't get into it. I watched the game. I watched the game, and I think it's like everything where there's a lot of talk going on about people are not going to watch it, they don't get into it, but they will do. They'll watch it when it comes on.
Well,
I think
it's
that's just.
very
I think it's just the gravity. I think to the World Cup, isn't it?
yeah,
I
but
think
it's
everyone's
very
drawn to it.
there's a lot of issues with this one, Paul, isn't there? Let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah,
I watched the game like you did, couldn't get into it. I'm pleased for Ecuador, but the host nation ain't gonna bust the group. So you know, personally, I think it should not have been given to Qatar in the first place
I think
for
that's well.
for,
I think it shouldn't be.
for quite a lot of reasons because of
Mm.
heat, human rights, um, all this sort of stuff. I mean, it's not about football, then, is it? It's about everything else, you know. And for
Yeah.
me, the World Cup should be about football. You know what I mean? So
Well,
yeah,
yeah. I think we know why it was given, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
all about that, mate. All about that.
all about that money. But yeah, we know there's a lot of that money that's kind of going around in our league now, and you look at it and you think, well, you can't boycott the World Cup on that side because we're happy on the other hand to allow this team and that team to have the same money coming in and messing up the structure in our game. Yeah, it started with the Russian money, Chelsea, to now this. And you look at it like that and you think, yeah, these state owned clubs are now where money is just, it's like playing Monopoly, isn't it? Just with an infinite amount of stack of it in the
good,
bank. You just
good,
look at it.
good place to wash your money, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
UK's going to
So,
become one of the biggest laundrettes in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the way it is. It's always been. Every these sort of people have found a way to get their money through. You, horse racing, any any sports, and now football is right 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 for it. So it is what it is, and I
yeah,
haven't watched. To be honest, I haven't. I used to watch every game of every World Cup, and I haven't done that for about 6 or 7 years, uh, because I just lost interest, and I just preferred watching Arsenal games. But I will try and watch a few more this one just to see. But it was a result you expected, and I was I was just disappointed they didn't concentrate on the opening ceremony as much.
VAR is going to be
More,
great as well, isn't it, lads? You know what I mean?
I like the new VAR. I like the way it. I like the way it shows, and it's instant if it's used right.
Yeah,
And
but
it,
be fair, Richard. That first goal for Ecuador was not offside whatsoever.
oh, I looked at that and I, yeah, you can you can rule it by laws of the game, and yeah, you look at it and you say, yeah, well that's a law. If he is something out, it's offside.
Yeah.
If
But
some
it's done. There's technology in the balls now, that signals when the balls hit, and those images are done instantly. So
Yeah,
it,
but
you,
Richard, what we're
you
missing, mate. Sorry to butt in, but what we're missing is, like in other sports when they do it, you can hear everything that's being said. Yeah, and
oh
the
yeah,
reason and the reason why, and that's what we need in the VAR. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, Richard, about the ball and everything, but that's what we need in the football
well
VAR. We
we had
need to. Why are you
yeah we seen
deciding
it in
these
the
things?
women's game trialed. We saw it. I think it was Arsenal Reading last year. The mics were tried, and it seemed to go well. Whether they'll take that forward, I don't know, but it works in rugby. It works, and I think you get less discontent from fans if if you're hearing what the referee's saying, and if he's saying,
Yeah,
"I've
that's
seen
what I'm
this,"
saying.
if
yeah,
I've
I think
I've seen this, and this is how I've seen it, and you can
Yeah,
say fair enough.
totally agree with you, mate. And that's exactly what I was saying, but in a different way, I guess. But you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. You'd like to know how they come to a decision,
yeah.
uh, and then you might disagree with it, but
Well,
at least you know the thought processes behind that decision.
do
it was.
any of
Go on,
the
Paul, go on.
associations do any of the associations use that, or is it still behind closed doors?
It was it was being tried last season in the women's game. I don't know if it's been
Yeah,
if it's been shelved or whether there are plans to use it in like cup games or something.
I think
But
it's a great.
I think it needs further trials. I mean, the Reading game, women's game I saw, you could hear what the ref was saying to the linesman and the uh, VIR, the assistant referee, proper assistant, quite easily, and you could see. So knew the dialogue was going on, and it's to me it was good. I
Just
think there's a bit of fear behind it that it might get used against them, but
that's part of the game, though. That's part of the
yeah,
rules. You know what I
but
mean?
you can
Can I,
you can have bits where there are certain conversations if, that don't get aired, so to speak. And
no, if
if
you're gonna air,
if
you
it,
have to air the whole
if,
thing.
it, if it's the things like if you saw the Arsenal, we had the incident with the Liverpool game with Henderson and and Gabriel.
Yeah,
When he comes to the manager to speak to the manager, mic's off. So
right.
that conversation is between him and the managers.
Yeah, I agree with that because that's not affecting the
Yeah,
game.
but
That's something.
those are the things I'm talking about that should be off thing. But
Right, I
when it comes
understand.
to actual decisions, uh, on field decisions, everything should be aired. But nothing,
Transparency, Richard.
yeah,
Transparency.
nothing like that can affect other people's decisions outside the game. That has to be
Can, can I expand
that's
on it?
got to be kept in house.
Sorry, Richard. Can I expand on it just one little bit as well?
Yeah, of course.
Wouldn't it be a good idea to have the fourth referee a bit more involved instead of just standing there trying to make sure that the managers stay in their boxes and letting us know how much time there is and substitutes? Wouldn't it be
Yeah,
a better idea as well to get the fourth referee involved and say, look, we even if they had a confer, you know what I mean? Because like in American football, as an example, right? They all throw a yellow thing on the floor, don't they? Then they all run together and have a chat about it, and it's decided there and then they look at the monitor if they have to and all that sort of thing, just to
yeah,
speed the game up a bit. I think the
yeah.
fourth,
There's got to be something that can work,
yeah,
and I like the idea of mics because I think refs would get less of a pasting if people knew why they were making certain decisions.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think this is the difference between rugby and football, though. In general, I think what you find is that the associations are very scared to admit that they're wrong. Certainly, I think the British side, where you look at say like the PG, what is it, the PGMOL or whatever, and they don't like to admit they're wrong or that they are in the wrong, and that's where I think part of it's the problem is because that would be admitting failure. That would admit that they would be weak.
Totally.
And that they would be making mistakes. Where what we're trying to do, we know that refs will make mistakes. We know they're not going to get every decision right, but they have to. You have to start getting that kind of thing in there because it might actually take away the flack that they do get on the field.
Fair point.
And
Fair
it
point,
stretches
Paul.
down, and it stretches down to the grassroots and everything like that. And you're suddenly thinking because everyone is always going, oh, the ref has done this, the ref has done that. Or why hasn't he done this? At least if that conversation is done and then the conversation that's been had upstairs or whatever, the fourth official could still see, I've got an opinion on it. I've seen it. I've been watched it. And you've got that ability. They're a team on the pitch and then they go upstairs if there is still some uncertainty. But what we need to do, I'll go back to the game today with this VAR thing. You can't re-referee a decision, or you know what I mean. It was again. There's a leg in the air. The guy's going up for a header, and just because his legs kind of dangling out, like someone's big toe being larger than someone else's, I can't see there is a massive advantage there in that side.
Do you think as well, though, Paul? Just to expand on your point that you're just making, because the only thing I could have seen them disallowing that at goal 4 is because of a high foot, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. But then in the camera room, should they have a referee in the camera room? Do you think it should be like an independent person, or do you think it should be a referee?
Again,
I think it has to be a referee to know to understand the game and the nuances, because that high foot doesn't matter if there's not another player and he's not making contact with another player's head. If he's making contact with another player's head, then you've got to call it.
Yeah, it's got to be an official. It's got to be a ref. It can't be
Fair
an
enough.
independent.
I just wondered because I thought,
Otherwise it get you. I think you could have an independent referee from another, maybe another country or another association in there.
Because they talked about ex-pros, didn't they? And suddenly you thought, well, that's opening another can of worms, and you're suddenly thinking,
because the bias comes into it, then, doesn't it?
You don't want McDermott, or you don't want.
Can you imagine it blowing VAR? You got Gary Neville. It's brilliant. Oh yeah, great.
If you had Roy Keane, Gary Neville, or maybe what's his name from Liverpool? The old boy with the tash.
Oh, blimey.
People himself. Have him as
Howard Webb, all is forgiven. Come back.
Yeah, but you look at it. You just say it's that kind of thing where you suddenly want, and it was like you said. I'm sure FIFA are going to look at that decision today, and they'll suddenly say, "Well, this didn't work how we wanted to do." Hence, why there was no information to the commentators. There was nothing. So even normally the commentators would know, or they get that kind of like inkling to say straight up.
It has been used in the Champions League, isn't it? This is technology,
so it just makes it very weird for everyone.
It's supposed to speed up. It's supposed to speed up all that and get rid of all this line drawing, that 3D model. And if you look at it, his foot was.
So
I get what you're saying. You still would like to hear the process behind that. And
well, I'm going to enforce this, right? This is why I'm called the enforcer, because I enforce things, right? Just out of fairness, I think every Arsenal match should have Arsene Wenger looking at the cameras and him deciding whether it's off. Do you know what? I'm tempted to go to your side, guys, and keep it as an official after what you've said. But
what I would like to see, because let's be honest, the quality and the consistency of the English referees is poor across the board.
I,
It's
I, I would, I would have
what we need.
I would have international referees for every game in the
Is,
Premiership.
well,
The British referees
I'd
are
like
not up
all
to
the old
standard.
referees that were had their FIFA licenses and were at previous World Cups to come in and train and retrain English referees and do it. And you take the best English from that point on the point scoring system. The
You know,
best referees, when they retire, train the newer ones as they're coming through. So you get a consistency.
it's a rolling system. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I would get to train the referees genuinely now, right? I would get, is it Colaccini, the Hills Have Eyes bloke, the bald-headed Italian
Collini.
fella?
I know you mean, yeah.
I'd
Collina.
get
Galini, yeah.
Collini, that's it.
Yeah.
I would get him. I would get him to train our British referees, mate. I really would, because he didn't stand for nothing, did he?
No.
You know what I mean?
Just going back. That little trial was done a long time ago, wasn't there? With a certain Tony Adams. Remember? That they mic'd up. Wasn't it Ellery? David Ellery, and they mic'd him up, and they had the little documentary.
They did, yeah.
And then where Tony was caught on camera shouting a few explicitives.
But you'll get that anyway. Yeah, but you can sort. But you get that. You'll hear everything in rugby what the players are saying. You're not going to stop that. It's just you just get on with it, and you apologise if you've heard something that you shouldn't.
Which your commentators should do, really.
Yeah.
And I would say this as well. End of the day, as much as it does offend people, and I'm not here to offend people, but it's part of our English language, right? We're all grown-ups, or supposedly all grown-ups, right? I try my best, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that your commentators would apologise for that anyway. And it is we all know it's in the game. It's in every game.
Yeah. If you've ever played any board game, anything, and it gets a bit competitive, there are going to be swear words thrown around.
Yeah.
And it's not usually the kids; it's usually the parents.
I mean, on here, I know on here we have rules and we keep it clean, and you have to because it's a social platform. Yeah, I totally get that. But in the heat of the moment, in a sports, I mean, Paul, you've done sports yourself, you know, didn't you? In the heat of the moment, the old F and Jeff comes out, you know, and it's just the way it is, you know.
Yep. Yeah. No, it does. But yeah, I think that's enough bashing on referees and stuff. It's a bit downbeat now. We'll stop bashing now.
I'll put my club away.
Yeah, we're just gonna be a bit. We're gonna be a little bit nice now because we look at this World Cup. It's going to come and go very quickly, and then suddenly we're going to realise, all our players are back, and we're top of the league. And it's like, nice thing.
It's a lovely thing.
Obviously, that's after our Christmas turkey and stuff, and stuff like that. And it's
let's be honest, we could lose the West Ham game and we'll still be top.
Yeah,
that is true. That is very true. Paul, can I just say it's going to be a lovely Christmas for Arsenal fans. It is. Whatever happens, it's going to be a lovely Christmas for Arsenal fans. I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat who's joined us, and thank you for your messages. And also, do you remember the last time I was on, Paul, we had quite a long conversation. And I believe I said to you, if we're top of the table by Christmas, or by the World Cup is what I actually said, Arsenal will win it. And you said, let's see. So now, it's the second part of my master plan. We have to wait and see now. But I think if it's all about January, isn't it? And strengthening. But I still believe we will win the league.
Well, look, we've put ourselves in a really good position, haven't we? At the end of the day.
Totally.
I'd say I don't believe that we are directly competing with City, because I do think that they are a couple of rungs ahead of us in their whole process. But look, if we're going to be the best of the best, and we're up there, and we are with the most amount of points in the table, then we have got a chance. So the longer we can keep going, hey, I'm all for it, and I'll be 100% back behind them.
I mean, what I would thing is, I've shown you that table, Paul. It is also the eye test. If you look at City, they're conceding chances to other teams, and their stats are bloated because of Haaland, and they're overperforming offensively. Likewise, if you watch Newcastle, actually, they're conceding lots of chances, but teams aren't taking those chances. Therefore, defensively, they look a lot more solid. But the stats actually say, no, you're overperforming defensively. And when you look at in games, you can see teams are getting chances, just not their blocks going in. They're not being clinical enough. So, and for us, we're not greatly overperforming, and defensively we're exactly where we should be. We're not conceding chances. We're not conceding chances on when you watch a game, and the stats say we're not conceding more chances than what our stats total say for the season. So it's at the moment it's a thing. What we got to look at is do we get a glut of injuries come March, April time? But or do we go through the season unscathed and have no more injuries? Those are the things that you can't
No, that's it.
judge for. Getting a couple of players in would help. It would mean that if you did have a glut of injuries, worst case scenario, you can cater for it. But I think it's sustainable. It's just a case of City can go on a run of 15 plus games winning, and that's when the real pressure comes, isn't it? Because December to January they used to go on a game of 10 to 15 game winning streaks, and the league's over then. But this time it's going to be between February and April, and we're lucky we're out of the English League Cup, so we don't have any games to deal with in January, February for that. We've only got the FA Cup games, and I think there's 2 of them in January, and then our Europa League doesn't start until March, because United's game is the 23rd of March, 23rd of February. So the next draw won't be to the first 2nd of March. So being out that competition is, even though it's disappointing, on the other hand, it will allow our fixture. We won't be congested, and considering we got two Premier League games to fit in as well, I think that will be a bit more of a blessing. But I think it will be March, April time where injuries will happen for us. I don't think it will happen before that, because if you look at the World Cup, is it 8 games in 6 weeks?
Yeah, it's
and then that's if you go to the final, and then you get a 10 teams are supposed to give players 10 days off rest, so it should work out quite well. I mean, and if you look at it, if Brazil get to the final, is Jesus and Martinelli going to be playing every game? No. They'll be coming on. They might start some matches, but there'll be subs in others. So I think, well, as a team, we're not going to be too bad for that.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be where we are at the moment.
Well, I'm going to look at it slightly different, Richard, because you are a stats man, and I'll leave that in your corner, because I'm not a stats man. I'll just say it as I see it, and I love what I see. You know what I mean? So what I mean by that is that we're competing with. Do you know who we're competing with this season? We're competing with ourselves. That's who we're competing with. Because the only way I can explain it is, it seems like we're not fearing anybody this season. And I know Man United beat us, right? But we didn't fear them. If anything, we outplayed them. We just got caught. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I genuinely believe I don't worry about injuries until they happen, because you don't know when they're going to happen. There's no point trying to not having a go at you here, Richard, but there's no point trying to speculate when an injury is going to happen. Do you know what I mean? I mean, end of the day, if they happen, they happen, and we deal with it as it happens. That's how you treat an injury. That's how I've always treated an injury when I played sports. I didn't think, I'm going to go and go down and might injure myself. You just crack on until it happens, and then you deal with it. Regarding players, we do need to strengthen in certain areas, and the three of us could discuss this until the cows come home. Yeah, and
we know we need another.
Yeah, I'm going to tip in.
Player in the forward position.
I would say we need another three. Three. All right, as a minimum. And
we need a centre midfielder, somebody who can play all three forward positions. If you're not going for an out-and-out striker, an upgrade on our many.
And Mudryk, let's say just Mudryk as well. Yeah, we'll just say that because that's one of my choices. All right. So I would like to see Mudryk at our place. Who asked? English Conversation Club. Yeah, you asked about Ronaldo. We don't need Ronaldo.
No. Why would you want Ronaldo?
I'm
going to go into the chat, guys. So,
sorry, I just noticed it, though, mate. I'll just bring it in. It's because I was talking about players. That's all it was, Paul. You know,
I can't. All right.
We can actually discuss that one. It's a nice question and a nice discussion to be had.
You know, would just be quiet. I'll get into it.
All right, mate. Over to you. I've made my point. Over to you. I'm enjoying it still, though. Just
how many points? You made we talked for 25 minutes.
Well, because you made us talk, didn't you?
I know we've missed you for so long, but come on.
Well, no, I've made my point. Can I just say, I've made my point, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
And good night. Good night. So, Ashley D, hopefully he's still in the house. Moderator, Ashley D. Hey up, Gooners.
Hey up, Ashley.
And Alex, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Cannon Fodder TV, everyone. Yeah, Lynn's in the house as well. Evening, all us three.
Thank you, Lynn.
Evening, Lynn.
Yeah, she said the stadium did look decent. I said if Saka starts, the pitch is just right and he'll have the space. But like anything. But again, it's what you're up against, isn't it? They're going to be tricky games. We'll go on to a little bit about England, I think, a little bit later. Pundits haven't agreed with it being in Qatar. However, they still have gone. If they hadn't gone and put their fee to charity, you could say they stood by the principles. Yeah, like I say, I just don't think they're still going to report on it. They might not support it, but it's still going to go ahead, isn't it?
It's the same with my thing is with the FA. You run a campaign for diversity, the Rainbow Laces campaign, yet you're sending players out to a homophobic state.
Yeah.
If you're really serious about it, you withdraw and you say we're not attending because it's against our principles. But then you're getting press and people saying, what are the players going to do? And it shouldn't be on the players.
No, it should be as a whole at the end of the day. But, if England would have done it and said, they're not going to do it, how many others would have said, actually literally turned around and said, we're not going to do it as well? And you're suddenly thinking, I don't think there'll be many that would kind of follow suit.
No, but that's each individual.
Take our place. Then the end of the day, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just quickly, the Welsh team said that they're going to wear the rainbow armband. So people are going to be... People are going to be, teams are going to be defiant in some sort of way if they can be. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah, definitely.
But it shouldn't have to be down to the manager and the players to make that stand, should it? It should be on the individual associations. They should have had the backbone to do that in the first place. But especially if you're running initiatives like the Rainbow Laces, like take a knee. If you're running those sort of initiatives, you're then supporting a World Cup with the issues it's got. I think it smacks of hypocrisy, and you can't. But I'm not surprised.
Quick question to you both: has it tarnished the World Cup in any way, in your opinion?
I think it takes away from the spectacle of football, because you win. People are going to be looking at the more the human rights and the other issues rather than the football on display. It should all be about the football and the spectacle.
No, I think the World Cup. I think the World Cup will always be champion. I think that will always be there. There's obviously that legacy there. It will still go on. It will carry on. There'll be another award this year for the best team, and that'll be in history. It's one of those where not everyone's going to support it, but I'm pretty sure that everyone is going to be watching it once it comes to your team's playing and getting behind the team. It's just natural. They say it's like a magnetism. Soon as it hits, everyone will get involved. And it don't feel like a World Cup, but I think the only thing that's been tarnished is FIFA, and I think that's come. Then I'm sure there's going to be more to it. And then this Infantino coming out with some of the stuff that he was coming out with as absolutely.
Let's get it right. Infantino has been under investigation because he was having clandestine meetings with a Swiss Attorney General, and it was in all foreign papers. This was reported. English press never reported on it.
Yeah,
and no, again, when we go into referees and could there be corruption and bits and pieces, it's never spoken about. Oh no, because that would ruin the product. So I don't like the politics behind the game and some of the people in those positions of politics.
Yeah, no, definitely. Conversation Club. Good evening, gents.
Evening conversation.
And it follows up. Well, we were watching the World Cup. Yeah, I think we all are.
Yeah, I'll be watching more this year than I have in past. But
I think we all will be. I mean, again, it's not something you support, but sport is the product, isn't it? At the end of the day, and people want to watch the football. At the end of the day,
I've got interest. We've got interest in Brazil with Martinelli and Jesus. England being our national team, and you've got Party in Ghana. So I'll be wanting to see how our players come through those games.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing, isn't it?
I'll be honest. I'm only watching it because Scotland aren't in it. And I want to see Arsenal lose. No, don't, not Arsenal. England, even. England lose.
Is he feeling all right?
No, I'm not. But I'm Scottish. I'm Scottish, mate. I don't want to see Arsenal lose ever. Sorry, that was a total slip of the tongue, that. Yeah, I just want to see England lose, to be honest.
Double entendre.
No, I wish England... I am a Scotsman, but they're there, so good luck to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's all good. Lynn, this was a chance for this World Cup. The VR could have been changed to the same as rugby, where it's much more transparent. Like we said, I think this would right a few wrongs of how it's being used, and I think the perception of referees just in general. I just think someone just got to be a bit brave and try that, and stick by it. I think there's only one way. Yeah, problem lies in these facts that these people who are doing VAR are the same people who are reffing on the pitch. And until you have independent VAR people, this will not change. Yeah, I think what you'll find is that these people that were poor on the pitch, referees, are being moved once they retire from their poor performances on the pitch into cushy upstairs referee things and making the same mistakes at the end of the day. And it's one incompetent referee instructing another incompetent referee on a decision, and in the end result is incompetence. So yeah, until that gets ironed out and people actually accept responsibility for errors and mistakes and a want to get better, then we're stuck with it at the minute. So yeah, the enforcer is back.
Yeah.
So Richard, England's chances of winning the World Cup?
None. Quarterfinals at best.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Oh, the price.
I have no faith in Southgate's ability to get past the quarterfinals.
But the play
without
forget Southgate for a second, Richard. The players on the pitch, though. What?
Right. You know he's going to have Maguire on the pitch. You know he.
Yeah.
Defensively, we're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to choose Maguire unless Maguire gets injured.
You know, you've mentioned Maguire. This conversation's actually over.
Yeah. Move on.
But I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I don't think as a defensive unit we're good enough. And though that pains me, that's the sad truth of it.
So if Arsenal made the whole of the England team, would we win the World Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? It's. I get you got to choose some players on what they've done for you, because you don't get enough time to coach them being a national manager, but does come a time when you have to say actually form is more important. Look at Dunk. Is it Dunk at Newcastle? He's had a good season for him. Why is he not been? And is it Dan Burns as well? Not had a bit.
Well, if you take an Arsenal player, why isn't he playing Ben White more often? I mean, look how Ben White has played this season. He's an absolutely new player with new levels.
You can bet he'll go Trippier above White.
Had some game time in those friendlies, just like when you're picking players that haven't played. But I'm saying Ivan Toney. And you look at that, and it was a perfect time to say, right, Kane, you're not playing.
But Kane thinks he's a given. Paul, Kane thinks he's a given.
Well, yeah, it's not even Kane, though, is it? You know what I mean?
It's why is Rashford going above, but in front of Tony?
Well, yeah, no, I agree with you, lads.
I mean, I get Kane because of what Kane's done in the past and what he can do, but Tony, you take Tony Wilson and Kane, you've got three very different options there, and then you still got enough in with Grealish, Foden, Saka, Sterling to cover your wide positions and Mount as well. You've got plenty of variation in there to swap things around.
I mean, my main concern, all joking apart, but my main concern is Saka, and I hope that he doesn't get kicked to bits.
Yeah, you're going to expect him. He gets kicked to bits in the league. You know, international teams are going to do exactly the same if they have to. Historically, because it's the only way to stop him.
In a way, they're going to go in harder, aren't they?
Yeah. Historically, look at that inaugural one for Pele, 17-year-old starting and got. I know obviously the game's changed massively from the brutality what the game was then, but yeah, he got absolutely plastered every game, and Yeah, it's one of those where, you do hope there's some protection there, but yeah, you just hope that it comes before it's maybe too late in one of these games, because one of these games it's going to be, so certainly in the Premier League or FA Cup or whatever, and someone's going to come flying in, and it only takes a planted leg or whatever, and then
Exactly.
that's another. It's another Ramsey. It's another kind of just
Yeah,
a horror
Yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's not nice, but yeah, no, I think if we're going back to the chances of winning, I'm going to be a bit more confident. I think there's potential to get there. What was the quarters? Was it Holland? Is it Holland's group in the quarters? If we get through,
I think so. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just trying to have a quick look. See, I'll have a little wall chart or some form of fair where you suddenly go through that
The
World Cup.
Panini wall chart.
Yeah, this is it in the summer. What else would you do? You got your
Yeah,
wall chart.
Sun
Yeah,
always
yeah.
had one, didn't they?
Hey, you used to get your stickers, didn't you, for all the teams, didn't you?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's all messed up. All my whole kind of like timetable's just messed up.
It doesn't
And
feel right. It doesn't feel right being in the winter. No way.
no,
No.
no. But like I say, I'm hoping we can go further than the quarterfinals. But we know it's going to be tougher than say that Euros, and it was a good chance of the Euros. But yeah, global domination's a bit more trickier than getting over the European teams. And yeah, there's some good teams. Just look at Brazil. I think it'll be very interesting. And yeah, maybe
Brazil and Argentina.
one
Brazil and
last chance with
Argentina.
Argentina for Messi.
I
Yeah.
think this could be Messi's World Cup, to be honest with you. I think it really could be.
Yeah, no, I don't
But
know.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We've got to see everyone play, haven't we? First of all.
We have.
So, Lynn, going back to the Arsenal, what do you think of Man City not allowing Arsenal to buy any more of their players? In my honest opinion, Man City is only getting a little taste of what they've been doing to other Premier teams for years. I think they've been smashing us with players for years since the money come in, hasn't it? Really, because five players. What is it? Clichy, Nasri,
Adebayor.
Adebayor.
Uh,
Who are the others? The little
Sanya.
Sanya,
Sanya, yeah.
and one more. It was the other. It was the other mercenary.
From Man City.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Gone from Arsenal to Man City.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, come on.
Not Clichy, was it?
I had Clichy. So we got
Clichy.
that.
Did you say Clichy? Oh, you said
Yeah,
Clichy.
got
It
Clichy.
wasn't Toure, was it?
Yes.
Was it Toure?
I think
And
it
then
was.
he ended up at Celtic, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, not Yaya. No, Yaya's his
Kola.
brother, isn't it?
No,
He was
Kola.
already there. Kola,
Yeah,
that's it.
Kola.
Yeah.
Trying to.
Toure. I'm pretty sure it's Toure.
So we're kind of evening it up. I'll never say never with that.
Yeah, but let's be honest. If I'm honest, if I was going to take another Man City player, forget Haaland, because that's pie in the sky, load of rubbish, right? De Bruyne is the only player I'd want at Arsenal.
You wouldn't have one. You wouldn't have Silva or Gundogan.
No, Gundogan's too old, and Silva, nah. De Bruyne all day.
Or even maybe Grealish.
No, what that joker? He don't even deserve to be playing for Man City. He's a joke,
Yeah,
that lad.
he's an interesting player, isn't he, Grealish? When you look at it was a big fish in that small pond at Villa, and he was running the show.
He's a hot and cold player, Rich.
I just don't think. Again, it might just down to be style. When you've got, say, maybe a team that's playing a little bit more direct than what, say, maybe City are, because they are a bit more pragmatic in how they're passing. It's a lot more static, and it's all based on players moving around into triangles and just kind of moving around and dotting up everywhere. Whereas at Villa, he was probably allowed to run a bit more and just go on like long term runs. Whereas at City, you're probably 1, 2, 3 touches, you're passing the ball. And then, it comes down to style at the end of the day, I think, and maybe just not suited for that. And coming to Arsenal, it's going to be similar. So
Yeah, then, guys. So here's your choice: Greenish or Martinelli. I know who I'd pick all day long.
yeah, I'll take Martinelli.
Yeah, you know Martinelli's first choice, but I'm looking at a player coming in who maybe doesn't drop off.
There's a track by Public Enemy called "Don't Believe the Hype," and he's definitely one of them players. Don't believe the hype.
But getting
Sorry.
back to that question, I think the reason Man City aren't allowing us to buy any more players is little more of they're now concerned about us being genuine challengers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what it goes to. You're not wanting to give players that can hurt you to title
It was a little
contenders.
favour, wasn't it? It was a little favour for little Arsenal.
It was,
and that's it.
Yeah.
A little, and then now
But
look.
we're not a little Arsenal anymore, are we?
Well,
And
no, we're not little. We're never little.
Oh,
but
that was what other teams viewed
yeah,
us
not
because
yeah,
we
we're
weren't
not going to be at the same table.
contending
Well,
for the title for
We're
such a
still,
long time.
what you got to remember, lads, is whatever happens this season is we're still a work in progress.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
We know that. Don't we?
you can call us little Arsenal, you can call us big Arsenal. You can't call us banter Arsenal anymore, though, can you, Chelsea? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
they're going to be an interesting watch I think this season because
we've lost that moniker.
Yeah, no, it's good. I can't. Yeah, I can't wait till Christmas. Get Boxing Day. Come on, just get back to it. Conversation Club. Not sure if this will be discussed, but do Arsenal need Ronaldo? Yeah, it kind of was discussed just in passing.
No, mate.
I mean, let's be honest. You know he can score goals, but what else does he do? And what we need is what we've got, which is Jesus. He presses. He does so much for the team, and we're getting goals all around the team. So why would you bring somebody that would destabilise that?
I'd give him a job either selling beer or parking cars in the car park. Ronaldo parks your car. There you go.
Yeah, no, I look at it. I think we've been down this road, haven't we? With high wages and journeymen. Again,
Too much ego.
It's about him, and we've seen it. And to be honest, I don't think the group needs that kind of unstable kind of like presence there, really, because there may be a lot of fabrication on the stuff that comes out. But look, it doesn't seem great. I certainly think if you were talking in the same mould of you've got a choice, Messi or Ronaldo, would you take either of them? And you'd suddenly say, well, I think I'd still might take a punt maybe on Messi, potentially.
I would for 10, 15 minutes.
But then still, you're still looking at it as it's not the same Messi. He's coming on big wages, and he might sell a few shirts and that. But again, does the group really need it? And you're suddenly thinking, is it really, really worth it? And are you going to get that much value from it? You'd be
too much trouble in the dressing room, Paul. As
well. No, I think Messi's probably a little bit different to Ronaldo.
Oh no, Messi I would have definitely, but
Ronaldo, no.
Ronaldo, too much trouble in the dressing room, and
he had his time with Arsene Wenger. Unfortunately, Ferguson got him on that ruined Champions League game when they played and signed him there and then after the game when we'd obviously had talks, and that was quite an interesting story. That was a 17-year-old.
That's right. Yeah.
And we'd done
players kind of like
and it was all done dusted. Then Sporting played Man United at Old Trafford, and they played, and then you got them in the boardroom afterwards, and done dusted. Rest is history. So yeah, don't know. So sad. So, if you could only strengthen one position in the squad, which one would it be, and why?
I'd go Partey's position, because if anything's to do under us, that's where we're going to be undone. Look at last season, we lost Tierney, we lost Tommy Asu, and we lost Partey, our defensive core, so to speak. I like Al Nenny, and I think he can do a job for a few games. But if you're looking for quality, you want exactly the same quality coming onto that pitch as you've got on that pitch, and that's the one position I think that would really undo us.
I have to agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Three yeses. If it was one position, then yeah, definitely. I think there is. You can always have arguments on someone to back up, strengthen the right with Saka, just to give another option instead of flogging him.
Yeah.
Modric or whatever.
Where's Danilo going to fit in if we get this Danilo lad? Because I can't quite see where he's going to fit in.
Well, he can play DM and he can play left-sided number 8, but he's more of a DM. So what he's going to be coming in for is to be Partey's understudy until Partey sort of steps. It is no longer that thing. So it'll be for a season, I reckon. I reckon sort of 6 months to a year. Then Danilo usurps Partey.
Yeah, no, good. You got something? Do you want to add something?
No, mate, correct. Sorry.
No, cool. If you were to ask Pep, what would he rather win, the Premier League or the Champions League? I think he'd rather win the Champions League because that's the only trophy he hasn't won.
I would agree with you, Lynn.
Yeah,
I would agree with you.
I think you also find that probably be what the owners will probably be demanding more. And again, you do question if he doesn't win it again. I think one of the City players had come out and said about Pep. Obviously, last year of his contract, isn't he? So I think he's only got.
Let's be honest. Had the season that they'd won the Premier League and the FA Cup, and they lost in the the final of the Champions League. Had he won the Champions League season, he'd have been gone the next.
Do you reckon?
It's the Champions League. It's the Champions League he wants.
Do you think he would have been gone if he'd won it, Rich? Because I think he's got such a strong team there. I think he would have tried to win it again.
Yeah, I think he'd have gone. I think if he'd won it, because that was the only thing missing from his CV. He'd won the title, the FA Cup and Premier League a couple of times, and that season they were looking on for 3 of the 4, weren't they? They got knocked out of one of the cups early, and there was a treble on. And I think if he'd won the treble, he would have left. It was just before he was about to re-sign that in the last contract, and he had, which brings him up to the end of this one. And it was sort of, no, I want to win the Champions League with City. Because I haven't done it in such a long time, and I think that's it.
Can I answer this question for English Conversation Club, please, Paul?
Just hold on a minute.
Okay. It's all right, mate.
Yeah, go on. You can do it.
It's only because you put it on the screen, mate. That was all.
Des, who is the better midfielder? Odegaard, De Bruyne, or Thiago, or Xhaka?
Oh, no, you can't put a 4th choice. That's that. Right, okay, let's go through it. Odegaard, for me, my personal opinion, Odegaard, closely followed by De Bruyne. Yeah. De Bruyne suits Man City. That's why he does so well. I think he would suit us too, but we'd have to bring him in and play him first for me to actually decide that. So it's got to be Odegaard, mate. The Viking. I love the Viking, by the way, just in case you didn't know. Okay, he's my favourite player. Closely followed by the new striker that we've got, Xhaka. I've been absolutely amazed by him this season. And even when I thought he was going to lose his rag at Chelsea, and he didn't. Yeah, But yeah, to answer that question quickly and swiftly, Odegaard, mate.
What about you, Richard?
Yeah, I mean, the other two have got thing, but for what we need and what he does for us, Odegaard he presses, he gets the ball, he makes one more pass, and he's scoring goals and making assists this season. So what can you say?
There is one fault he has got, Rich, and I will point this out quickly. There are times when he could shoot, when he should shoot, and he does that little pass, and it doesn't always pay off. He should shoot more often because he proved it last game. He can score goals. Yeah, so shoot, son. Have a go. You know, become a legend. Because that's what you should do at Arsenal. You should become a legend.
Yeah, and he has learned. He is shooting a bit more, and it's just again. I mean, you consider how young he is.
Just one more.
He's gonna improve.
Just one more point as well. Have you noticed, guys, that he's nicked 2 goals as well? Because he nicked it off a couple of games ago. He nicked it off Jesus' foot and scored, and he nicked it off Saka in the last game. Because that would have gone through to Saka, and Saka would have just tapped it in. So he started nicking goals off people as well.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I
don't mind if they go in the back of the net, mate.
You got to be alert. You got to be aware for it. So yeah,
that's it.
So
agree.
Yeah,
agree.
One thing, if we were talking about it, and you look at those, and you're thinking 2 of those players, 7 years older than the other, and you think if Odegaard does continue, bearing in mind he started his kind of his development at like 14 and being touted for good things at 14, and look, he's got a lot to step into. To be probably classed in the same level as those 2, certainly De Bruyne. But yeah, look, he's definitely got time on his hands, hasn't
he? Yeah.
So he's showing the sort of form that he showed at, was it Real Sociedad when he went on loan there?
Yeah.
He's now showing that form and better. He's showing why he's so highly rated.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, I have to say I'm happy with Odegaard. I think he's got a lot to offer, and that's that. I love my Arsenal, so let's just
Same
go.
here, mate. Same here.
So why it doesn't feel like a World Cup to me, and I do feel it's something to do with where Arsenal are at the moment, or I'd rather see us progress than have our players sitting on the bench or injured. Yeah, I think it's that you want to get it, you want to keep it going, don't you? And you just want that feel good factor just to continue.
That is the main problem with coming back from the World Cup. We could lose our momentum, and we don't want to do that.
No,
you know.
But that's why I think I think there's 3 or 4 friendlies. We've got one against Watford behind closed doors. Then we've got, I think it's Juve and AC Milan, isn't it?
Well, that's the Dubai Cup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's one planned for when we come back as well at the Emirates.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to do this one, Paul?
Yeah, I think you can. Go on.
Hello, Sue. This is the Enforcer. Thank you for watching the show, and I hope you're having a lovely evening. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Up the Arsenal.
Has he ever thought about doing that for like a little business, just doing those little messages?
It's the first time, mate. I'll take it under consideration.
Yeah.
Do you want to come in on it, Paul? I'll do you a share.
Yeah, done. Yeah, this tells me that Man City are missing the 2 players they let us have. Obviously, Arteta is getting the best out of Jesus and Zinchenko. I think Zinchenko is probably the big one.
Yeah, because I thought it was Jesus, mate.
I think the way he links up, he probably wasn't used as much as what Jesus was in the team. Although they weren't really playing huge amounts, he didn't really trust him, did he?
No, I guess not.
Jesus, but
Zini has come out and said though that he wanted to join Arteta, didn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's look at it like that. It's we're reaping the benefits of it all, aren't we?
Yeah. And we've got two winners who are only 25, so it's a bonus.
What do you just going on about Jesus for a second? This quick question again. Sorry, Paul, but this has just popped in the head.
Right.
Why isn't he scoring? I'm not bothered that he isn't scoring because what I've noticed about Arsenal this season, the goals are being shared out, and I think that's a good thing. But what do you put it down to him not scoring?
Just a little bit of confidence, a little bit of. He's getting the shots. He's had one which is offside. It's just little things. There's not. It'll come. He'll hit them again, and they'll start flowing again. It's just at the moment maybe rushing something a little too quickly because it's been a few games and it's starting to get inside his head. But as I said, you saw against Wolves, he put the ball in the back net. Okay, he was just offside, but you still have to hit the target even if you're offside and let the linesman and VAR make those decisions. And then he hit the bar, so he's getting the chances. So eventually something will go for him. It might take a deflection, but once that does, he'll be up and running again.
Yeah, I think he's getting the chances, and yeah, as I say, that last game against Wolves. Was it Wolves?
His press is mental, isn't it? His press is absolutely mental.
Yeah, he's got a way of doing it, and there's an intelligence about it. And whereas you had Lacazette who were doing it, and they were half doing it because they didn't really believe or really understand why they were doing it, and yeah, that's where we were kind of coming a cropper. But he does have that.
What I love about him is he can sneak up on a defender, and the defender doesn't even know he's there.
Yeah, no, it's just that intelligence to kind of know and be around it, and then know when.
It's like the Chelsea game, isn't it? I mean, he was pressing at the edge of our own box and started to move, and by the end of it, he was in Chelsea's box. Okay, he wasn't the one who scored the goal, but he still got from the edge of our own box right up to theirs. So it's not as if he can't do it and he hasn't got the pace to get from one box to the other. It's just that you prefer him to be further up the field if you can. But he what he does for a team, you can't lose. You can't afford to lose that.
No, definitely. No, I think it's all good. No, it's all good. I think we're gonna have to wrap this up. We're gonna have to wrap it up today. It's gonna be short and sharp. We're not gonna hit the 2-hour mark tonight.
It's gone so quick. It's gone so quick, Paul.
Blown by.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff in there. I'll tell you what, we are gonna have some. We might have to do a midweek game, little show where we just kind of go through it and just let the chat room have full reign on us.
Yeah.
Because it will be quite good. I'm just gonna.
I'm a little bit scared now.
Yeah, there we go. Stand up. Lynn, just quickly, I've said to Alex about playing Jesus on the wing and Martinelli through the middle because in pre-season that's where he was scoring from the wing. Yeah, I think it's that coming in and just kind of mixing up, and it was a good kind of interchange between Nketiah and him as well. Again, Martinelli, the physicality side of things through the middle, I think is the one for him. I think he'd just be eaten alive. I know Jesus is fairly decent with his hold-up play. That's probably why he's probably kind of finding himself more on the left than through the middle. But I'm sure there's going to be times where he might be used like that.
Could I make a point about this Modric thing when you read it? Is that all right?
Yeah, go on.
I thought you were going to read it first. Sorry. Okay. So, well, do it, and I'll do my point.
Hi, thanks for the show. I have labour I want you to discuss about Modric to Arsenal. If let us, we with funds to collect money and we'll bring him to our club because he can add more to our team.
Right. The point I was going to make, right, is thanks for reading that out so nicely, Paul.
Thanks.
It was brilliant, right? The point I want to make about Madrid, great player, right? But Donetsk want a silly figure of 100 million for him, right? The point I want to make is this: this is one of them situations where, and please agree or disagree with me, I don't mind, but this is where the player has to say, "Oi, I want to go to Arsenal." Do you know what I mean? This is where the player and the player's agent need to say, "Look, you're asking a silly price. He wants to go to Arsenal." You know, I mean, I don't know what a good price for him would be in today's figures, maybe 50 million, 60 million tops.
Yeah, I
But
think he's already come out and said it. He's
I
already
yeah,
think,
said
is that
I
is
think
that
it's
is
I
that
think
what he's already
65
said?
million
Yeah,
is
he's already come out. He said
All
that
right.
he had a dream, his next dream of like moving. I think he then basically said that it was like his dream had died
All
when
right.
they
So
come out and said the price tag. So I think that's just a ploy for Shakhtar to get the most amount of money out of
but
any interested clubs.
it is a situation where the player should be putting pressure on the club, isn't it? I'm not
Yeah, and
wrong.
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure they will.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool.
But no, I appreciate that comment.
Yeah. Try saying that one.
Is this? Yeah, I hope that's right. But yeah,
Do you
no,
mind?
good to have you on.
Do you mind
Please,
if we call you Robert?
subscribe.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah, but hey, yeah, please subscribe to the channel. Yeah, it's really good, so you don't miss another show. Um, tired. Oh, I know. Yeah, I can see why your name is tired. Yeah, evening, great show, guys. Been listening while dealing with the three kids. Yeah, I've
Evening,
got four
tired.
kids I need to go and try and sort out now.
Mine
So
are all
yeah,
grown up.
I know how that feels. So yeah, good that you're listening again, mate. And yeah, hope the kids are behaving.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the goals are on the wings. I'd really like to see Jesus off the left and Martinelli down the middle. Yeah, I think it's one of those where
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be times where they do cut in and play certain times, and you do see it a bit more fluid. I think you'll find Martinelli tucking in. And then Lynn's just confirmed. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was with
Oh,
Zinchenko's
yes,
wife. Yeah,
I did hear something about that. That totally wasn't in my head though when I was saying what I was saying. But yeah, I hope he does come to Arsenal because he's a great player.
yeah, no, it's good. One more, last one. Players don't have no power. Look at Douglas Luiz. Yeah, he wanted to join the Arsenal and tried to force a move through, and Villa blocked every attempt. It's the same
I would
situation.
counter that with if he really wanted to come to Arsenal, would he have signed an extension at Villa?
Well, that was an after product, wasn't it? At
Yeah,
the end of the day.
but if he really wanted to, would he have said no? I'm not signing, and said to Arsenal, "Come get me in the summer."
Look, I reckon that probably is more a fact of that he probably doesn't think that Arsenal will wait around for him.
Yeah, I agree
Come
with
that
that. Or
next.
maybe someone at Villa has turned around and said to him, "Look, you're part of our big plans. We really, really want you, and we'll give you this contract and we'll up your wages." And it's all mind games, isn't it?
Yeah, and you look at it and you just think, well, yeah, again, if a team don't want to sell, they don't want to sell. It looks like it's a bit different from being an Aston Villa to a Shakhtar Donetsk
Yeah,
with the current situation that's over there, which is totally different. And still, again, look at the difference in the leagues and stuff. It's not just so much the actual situation over in Ukraine, but
Do you
yeah,
think he? Do you think he wants to? Do you think he wants to come and play with Zinni?
I think it's a very good big pull. I think it's I think it'll be very good, and I think he's always said it. And like I said, the standing of where Arsenal are now makes it even more imperative he comes in because you might not get that. And I know there's others that are sniffing around. I know Man United, I think, are in for him.
So Newcastle.
Yeah, well, yeah, but there's obviously lots of money, and yeah, if we can start going into another bidding war again, well, certainly with those two, and we know how ludicrous both. Well, not so much Newcastle at the minute, but we know there is a limitless money pot. I think for them, really, in all honesty, they've been very liberal in what and how they've spent their money. It only takes them to do one big deal, and that's another rung on their development on that side. And if they could get that over the line, then
Problem with Newcastle, Paul, is 100 million. If say it was 100 million, that's pocket change to them.
That's exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's you look at it like that, and you just it's a weird kind of time, really, I suppose, because we don't know what they're going to do or what they're going to be allowed to pump in. I know they got financial fair play. How far will that allow them to extend? Because they've obviously got to make that profit. But look, we've got to get in there quick, and we've got to get in there. Yeah, really, really important. And this season, obviously, is going to really, really, really do it. Now, I think if we're pushing and we're going to get that Champions League spot, or certainly push top two, then yeah, no time then better to go and get it done. And yeah, as I say, we've got to just get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And Agent Zinni's got to come to the table.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks, Jonesy. First time watcher. Hope you're well. John the Gooner. Good evening, Gooners. Merry Christmas. Yeah, thanks, John.
John the Gooner.
All right, Johnny boy.
And problem he has now is that Emery doesn't play Louis' style of football. Well, I'm sure he must have been given an inkling that potentially changes may have been on the horizon with Gerrard. I don't think players will be that.
Is Tielemans still on the? Club?
Yeah,
he'll always be on the cards, when I suppose.
Yeah, he
signed a contract, so.
I don't think he's signing a new contract at Leicester, so it'll be whether we go and get him in January or we wait till summer.
Yeah. So that is going to be it then, guys.
Yeah.
I think it's been a good little show. I think we've been very calm. I think it's been quite nice. It's just where we're not stressing about things.
Yeah.
We've been very considerate. We've been very considerate between each other.
I'd like to go on about the Arsenal ladies yesterday, but maybe I'll come on with on the Thursday or something.
Come join Lennon.
Man United, we're lucky, mate. Man United, we're lucky.
But just before we go, there's a little awards thing going on the community, on the channel, voting for the favourite segments. So Richard's Thursday night show is
Ange and me, yeah.
with Ange.
I just sit there trying to look pretty.
That's still good. And then Ralph's watch-alongs on the match days.
They're funny. If you like being nervous watching an Arsenal game, you definitely watch it, Ralph.
And then you've got the easy talk and us, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so the big Sunday show. Get your votes in. You've still got a couple of weeks to get the votes in. So
can I
get
just
as
say
many of those as possible.
It's even bigger when you've got me and when you've got Paul and the Enforcer on. All right.
You're like box office. You're like.
I'm huge, mate. I'm huge. Someone said to me the other day, "You look like Tyson Fury." I said, "Cheeky git."
I'm better looking.
No, it's been a pleasure, guy. Thank you for coming on at short notice as well.
Anytime, mate. Anytime I can help you out, fella.
We'll try and aim for doing like a midweek kind of show, and then we'll look at doing another one on Sunday.
I'm available Wednesday, but any other day is a bit hard. All right, mate.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
All right.
But you'll be watching the big Sunday show. The free. We need to come up with a little naming for us free.
Well, you've got the Crazy Gang on the Easy Talk, haven't you?
Crazy Gang.
You've got Statman, the Enforcer, and we'll have to think of a name for you, Paul, because obviously Alex is the governor. You've got Elto, who's the Godfather. So
I'll just go with the Bray. It's fine.
The Bray, Statman, and the Enforcer. There we go.
That's it. We've done. But this is Cannon Fodder TV, and the Sunday show. It's over. The World Cup is here, and yeah, it is a little bit boring. But
Good.
England tomorrow. Come on,
Come on,
come
England.
on, you England.
Come on, England. Yeah.
Good night, Sue. Have a lovely evening. Good night.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
See you later.